Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to discuss a new game mechanic that BSG has sprung on us. Hatchlings are now tagged and cursed by default. Wednesday morning, a clip popped up on Reddit showing how deadly this change can be. In this clip, you can see several scavs literally sprinting to get a shot on a lone hatchling off in the distance. To no one's surprise, they utterly annihilated him. Before we dive in, remember that this mechanic is not necessarily permanent and the specifics are subject to change. We are still in beta. A quick heads up, I do stream over at Twitch almost daily. Feel free to pop in and ask me anything or discuss this video with me. I'm happy to have you. So what exactly is this new mechanic? Being tagged and cursed means that scavs in the area will target and chase you down even without physically seeing you. This could attract multiple scavs at once, and as a hatchling, quote unquote, you will most likely die a quick death at the hands of these scav mobs. The reason I say hatchlings like that is because it's not so clear right now what constitutes being a hatchling. To myself and probably most people, a hatchling is someone who brings in literally nothing but his melee weapon. Even then, he is risking nothing because your melee weapon cannot be looted off of you. Well, people were quickly finding out that bringing a pistol with you didn't necessarily clear you of being tagged and cursed. So I spent a whole Thursday on stream testing out what you actually needed to bring in to avoid getting jumped by scavs. I'm now going to run you through my tests and present my findings. I started out with no gear to verify this new tagged and cursed change. I quickly found out that scavs weren't acting as dumb as usual and actually had a lot of aggression towards me. Some even running to me when they had no visual. The change is definitely in effect and it is brutal. So the next thing I tried was to bring in a pistol. I had assumed this would be the end of it and this would clear you from being tagged. Well, it didn't. This was a complete shock to me because that meant that BSG still considers you a hatchling even if you bring a pistol. I feel like most people would have thought a pistol was enough, seeing as how the player at least put in enough effort to bring a gun. This isn't the case. The next test I ran was just bringing in a primary gun and nothing else. I chose a cheap unmodded ADAR for this test and it worked. The scavs were scabby, but not tagged and cursed scabby. It was at this point I started to wonder if it was actually some sort of hidden gear score that determined whether or not you were a hatchling in the eyes of Tarkov. So for the next test, I brought in another pistol, but this time it was a modded 5.7 with a red dot and suppressor. It was at least 2 to 3 times more expensive than the ADAR, so I thought for sure we'd be safe. Wrong. This still left me tagged and cursed, so it has nothing to do with the gear score or value of the item. A pistol just simply wasn't enough. However, a primary was. So after this, I tried to figure out what I needed to bring with me in my pistol to pass. I decided to do a run with my pistol and a rig. Lo and behold, not tagged and cursed here. This only led to more questions. Did I bring enough gear? Was it a combination of gear that kept me safe from the curse? So we had to do some experimenting. I didn't expect to spend 8 hours that day running as a hatchling, but for science, I would do anything. I tried every combination of gear, sometimes more than once, just to make sure I wasn't going crazy. The results of my extensive testing were this. To not be considered a hatchling, you need to bring one or more of the following: a tactical rig, backpack, body armor, helmet, or primary gun. With literally just one of any of these pieces of gear, you are free from being tagged and cursed. To elaborate further, you can even get by with just a 4,000 ruble scav vest. Even that clears you from being a hatchling. Before I forget, you're probably wondering what happens if you come in as a hatchling and find gear, or if you come in geared and dump it all. You are what you are when you enter the raid. If you come in naked and find gear, you will still be tagged and cursed. No way around it. One thing people need to be careful of is coming back into a raid with a buddy who is either bringing you gear from the last raid or bringing you new gear. If you come in naked, you will still be tagged, so at the very least, if your buddy is bringing you a kit, you need to wear a cheap scav vest, otherwise your raid just got much more difficult. Now on the flip side, some people might like and abuse this mechanic. I'm sure some of you are ready and willing to have scavs actively seek you out in online raids. This is the other side of the coin. There are ways to abuse even this system. I also need to mention this new mechanic seems to not be active in labs. So you cannot have one member of your group come in naked, so raiders all congregate near you for easy farming. As a man of science, I was happy to hear there was someone else who had actually done extensive testing on this new mechanic already, and I'm happy to report we got the exact same result. That person is another streamer and YouTuber, Vox E, and if you'd like to see his video on the matter, you can find the link in the description below. Some final thoughts on the matter. Once again, this is only a test by Battlestate Games, and I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't stay this way forever. I still wanted to report this new event in the Tarkov community so people would be aware of it, which brings me to my last point and a problem I have with the way Tarkov handled this. I don't know if this mechanic mechanic is good or bad yet, but I do know if hatchlings don't know this mechanic exists, they won't know why scavs are hunting them like dogs. If they don't even know why all this is happening, why would they think to solve it by bringing gear? I propose telling people before they deploy that they will be tagged and cursed unless they bring X amount of gear. Again, how will this stop hatchlings if they aren't even told that bringing gear will solve their problems? With the way things are now, all that's happening is hatchlings are getting destroyed by scavs and they have no idea why, which is pretty funny, I'll admit. But the point of this change is to get people geared so we are never disappointed with the players we come across. Let's get some in-game notification of these things, BSG. Thank you guys so much for checking out another video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember I'm on Twitch as well, so come on by if you want to hang out. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.